as I was saying, my dad and I worked on cars, just general stuff like maintenance, water pumps, stuff like that. And then my dad would sometimes get into the tinkering stage. So the tinkering, I like the tinkering, right? I like the, obviously, we're here. By no means was it ever like, you know, professional, semi-professional. Like it was good enough for like stock rebuild type shit. So we do that for a while, and then I'm out in town. I've got a 2001 Mazda Protege. Awesome car, by the way. But it was not cool, if you will. People didn't find it cool. So I had tin on it, I had rims on it. I'll have to find a picture. It'll be somewhere on my Facebook. I can attach it. But anywho, I had that, and I used to go out in town, goof off, right? And I met this guy, this gentleman. His name was Myron, right? And Myron had a Honda. At the time, he had a green egg, literally, EG, hatch. And it was turbo. And in his words, in his own words, I loved it, right? In his own words, it was a piece of shit. And it was a rather large piece of shit. I think it had pretty sure it had a radio. That's about it though. And he used it as like a pickup truck, legit, like stored wheels, all kinds of shit in it. But he would raise guys that had a lot more money in their stuff than he did. And he'd always, most of the time he'd win, but it was turbo. One of the first turbo Hondas on town. Like driving actual running turbo Honda. You know how I'm turboing it ends up panning out if you're from my age group. 9 times out of 10, it never really panned, right? Life happens, and turbo cars are hard and they're expensive, but they fire up and they run and they make passes. So I suppose I'm doing something halfway right. The last one held together really well. 7 or 8 full throttle dyno pulls all the way through the power band off my tune. Done fine. Went to the track, ran it around. You've heard this. So then I blew it. There are going to be moments that don't shake out the way you want it to, but just keep doing it. At a certain point, it becomes insanity. I think this is the only reason I'm doing this one is because I think it got hurt before I figured things out. So we're going to come back, we're going to torque it to spec, and then that's all for tonight.